okay? Because what I'm going to tell you requires writing in the books. Okay? So, let's see. Do we have enough to pass it down? Does everybody have? Okay, 3, 4. Okay, imagine that this is in the book. Imagine this is the book. Because it's what I happen to have on hand. All right, and we can do it. Okay? So, students, we are going to do an activity called, we're going to do something new today. So, you're going to put everything else away. You may not use T-picks. You may not, okay, use different colors. You may have, okay, now, you as the teachers are going to tell them exactly what you want them to have, depending on your rules in the classroom. I'm going to tell you this using my rules, okay? You adapt it, you decide. Now, this is a text that if you're teaching first, second, and third, this is going to be too much, right? First, too much. But maybe you have something that's much more simple, right? It could be something, see if I have something much more simple. But even something like this, for example, I want you to see what it looks like. This is finished. This is a finished paper. Imagine now this is a textbook. So this is what the book is going to look like. Perhaps you are not going to let your students do this in their book. But maybe you want to say, yes, you can use pencil, right? They could use a pencil. Okay, this is a page. This is a good page. This is a 10, right? Why is it a 10? Because when we were reading, the student has underlined longest life stage. The student has underlined from their mother's womb. The student has underlined looks like. Ah, what does looks like have to do with science? Well, we need these structures to understand, right? Looks like. All right, so we're going to practice something. I gave you a handout, yeah? Okay. Could I have someone ready for say, could you read just popcorn reading where it says the method experts have? Do you have this paper?
Sure.
Or are you ready? Maybe somebody else.
Popcorn reading. The method experts have found most effective when students are reading in the second language. At first, the student reads aloud in English for practice and pronunciation, and then popcorns a second student to translate for ongoing comprehension of individual vocabulary and overall understanding. This continues with identification and highlighting and underlining of new words and structures and annotation of everything highlighted, with verbal techniques on creating a positive reading environment. Summary of the book.
Okay. So we can stop just stop there for a moment. Now let me give you a variation. There's some variations here. Okay? Depending on the level in your classroom. If your students already have a fairly high level of English, okay? Fairly high level of English, some teachers, and this also works really well, you can do, although I still recommend doing the English, Spanish sometimes so they can have a practice translating. It's a great skill. They need it, okay? But we'll talk about when to use what. This is the other variation. The other variation is one student is reading in English, okay? And I'm going to tell you the variation first because we are going to practice the other one, okay? The one we are going to practice is the translation one, okay? So the variation, popcorn variation is, for example, let's do it rather than me explain, but the variation would be basically, for example, you start reading and at any point, you don't have to finish the sentence. It could be any moment, okay? You say popcorn somebody in the classroom. Now, if you take too long, like you finish reading something and say, popcorn, I will popcorn for you. I won't let you take too long to popcorn because that's the whole idea. What is popcorn?